Hey everybody, it's On Screen Off Screen back with a wonderful episode. We've got my two great co-hosts, and it's going to be a good episode. We're going to start with Josh's first topic. What do we got, my friend?
So my first topic is I read the book I Am Legend. Um, this came about because I read a different book that I can't remember what it was, and Conlon said, "Have you ever thought about reading I Am Legend?" And I was like, "That has literally been on my list forever." I bought it, I downloaded it, and just hadn't listened to it. So I decided, I've got time. I need a new book. I'll listen to this one. And the first thing I noticed was it was like a quarter the length than I would have expected. It is only a little over 4 hours if you're listening to it at 1x speed. I was expecting
Oh,
like a 20-hour book because that's kind of what I've gotten used to. That's about average for me. And this was like a big book. Everybody knows that this book exists. So it was
okay.
just a lot less. I was listening to it, and when people compare the movie to the book, there's the one common criticism that everybody has. And that criticism is in the book, they're vampires, not zombies. That is a stupid ass criticism. It is a dumb
Okay.
criticism because I can see in the pitch meeting somebody who hadn't read the book and somebody explaining these vampires to him and him going, "You mean like zombies? You're talking about zombies, right? Are you sure they're not zombies?" And then him, the guy pitching, "No, they're vampires. I swear they're vampires." And then keeps talking about the zombies. Are you sure you're not
They're
talking
not
about
zombies.
zombies? Because like the only thing is like the garlic thing works. But like the way they turn, zombie like, the way they move, zombie like, the way they're brainless, zombie like, the way like I'm pretty sure that's just zombies with a garlic thing. The only other thing that they bring up might work is like the cross, but it only works sometimes.
Why?
The explanation that the main character gives is if you were Christian, your brain was still active
Oh,
enough to recognize the cross as a holy thing and not knowing just that you are not holy, but you had no other brain power, like
that's actually kind
a
of interesting.
zombie. But he hypothesized that because, like, he has a friend who turns, and the guy wasn't Catholic, so he used a cross and it didn't work, and he used a Star of David because the guy was Jewish and it did kind of work. So that's
That's
where that
interesting.
hypothesis comes from.
That's cool. I
But
think that's cool. I obviously can see where the whole zombie thing comes from because if they're just brainless things, it would feel like a zombie.
they're brainless, like you get bitten or scratched and you turn into an undead like state. Like,
Zombie.
that criticism is just stupid to me. I'm like, these are not vampires either. I get that they're somewhere in the middle, but just because they say the word vampires in the book does not invalidate how they're shown in the movie. Um, but other than that, these are not the same stories at all. Uh,
Okay.
the main character has the same name, but they follow entirely different plots, have entirely different stories. In I Am Legend, you have the dog, the movie. In the book, you have him mention a dog at one point in time, and that's about it. Um, he had no previous family in the book. He had no purpose. There was no trying to save humanity. He thought he was the only one. But this book freaking sucks. The movie is a
Really?
thousand times, a thousand times better than this book. It is so terrible. The first half is like Hemingway wrote it because it's a lonely guy talking about how lonely he is in this world. And he literally
He's
goes
so
on for like,
lonely.
in a 4 hour book, there's like 30 minutes straight where he goes, I got so horny one time, I decided that I was going to channel my sexual energy into research. So I researched the mitochondria. Then I researched the this. Then I researched the that. Then I researched the that. Then this. Then that. And I'm like, I don't freaking care. I
Shut
cannot
up.
care enough about how boring this is. And then the second half of the book, he meets a girl, right? He's like, I'm not the only
Okay.
one. How incredible. And then he assaults her. And then
Really?
literally she runs away because she thinks he's a zombie. And yes, I'm gonna use zombie
That's
because that's what they
crazy.
are. And so he goes and tackles her and he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. And then he kidnaps her and locks her in his bedroom. And then, not even kidding, his thought process, it's a good thing I spent my time channeling my sexual energy into research. Otherwise I would have raped her.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Literally
There's
what he
no
says.
way.
It's the most
That's
pathetic,
insane.
lonely guy. Like, the first half, he's like, pathetic, lonely guy, like, girls suck. I'm so scared of them. It's a good thing they're gone. And I was like, that's
I'm on the
just
vampire zombie
sad.
side.
And then, oh, it's just so freaking horrible. And then that happens, and I was literally like, I cannot believe this is in such a famous book. This is insane.
That is shocking.
And then the girl betrays him, and I'm like, fair, but gives him an out to survive. And the book ends with him maybe or maybe not going to die.
He should die.
For sure he should die. That is ridiculous.
I'm on the zombie vampire side.
That was the most amazing, it's so famous. People who love the movie read the book and they're always like, it's such a great book and blah, 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 whatever. And they're vampires, not zombies. And I'm sitting there like, they're zombies. If I was in the pitch meeting, I would be the guy being like, you're talking about zombies right now. I don't care what word the author used. You're talking about zombies.
They're about zombies.
It reminds me of that quote from Avengers where he's like, I see that you have made a decision, but seeing how it's a stupid ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Yeah. It's like the people who made the movie were like, let's take the good parts, the guy's name, the fact that he's a researcher, the name of the movie, the monsters. And then we're going to throw everything else out because they don't care. An audience is going to care. And I'm like, brilliant decision. I love the movie. I still love the movie. Good. Never going to read this book again. I recommend people stay away from this book.
Just saying, speaking of the movie and of the dog, I would, if that was Chansey, I'd like, bro, looks like we're changing together.
Well, you can.
That's where I gave up.
Alternate version.
What's the alternate version?
The dog survives. He saves the dog. They all go together. Him, the dog, the girl, the son, all go to the community and cure the zombieism together.
I like that one. I like that story.
That was one of the worst purchases of my life.
Your worst purchase?
Yeah. I was going on a scout camp, and I was like, I really like I Am Legend, but I haven't seen this alternate version, so I bought the alternate version on iTunes. And I was trying to download it, and I couldn't get it downloaded in time because my internet in Utah was crap. So the entire camping trip, I was like, I can't wait to watch this version to see what's different. And I got home, and I was like, there's no weight to it. Nothing really matters. It's super predictable. The way that they get out of it, right? Because the zombies are closing in, right?
Mm-hmm.
They close in, and he talks to them, and they leave.
That's it?
Yep. I was like, that is so freaking stupid. I can't believe I cared. So I don't like the alternate version, but The dog does
As long
live
as
in
the
the
dog
alternate
lives,
version, so
then I like
there's
it.
that. Yeah, movie, love it. Great movie. Book, stay away. Don't read it. Don't waste
Complete
your time.
trash.
Very few
Okay.
good things about it, and I just cannot believe the book is as popular as it is.
That is honestly too bad. Honestly, truly too bad. It's been on my list for a really long time too, because I'm like, I like the movie too. That's too bad. Sounds like they just completely butchered it, but in a weirdly good way. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's better than the. That's weird. Okay, cool. I'm guessing it's like a 1 or 2 for you, Josh.
I am giving it a 2 because the second half of the book does have some interesting things in it. Like I said, the girl betrays him, sort of. So, like, it turns out she's part of a community, and the zombies were set on this guy on purpose.
Okay.
And so she tells him ahead of time, and it's like, they're going to come kill you, leave or don't, but you can't stay here, kind of a thing. And that's that. So it's kind of how it ends. So I'm like, that was an interesting twist. I didn't see the twist coming. There's
All right,
good
guys, let's
elements.
go to the next topic. I'll go through my first one, the Indiana Jones Great Circle game. This game's awesome, absolutely freaking incredible. For the main storyline, the main storyline is really, really, really good. My issue with the game is I don't care that much about a lot of the side quest stuff. It's kind of like, okay, go do this puzzle, go do this puzzle. It feels like very fetch questy the entire time, which is a shame because the rest of the game is really, really good. Enough that if you're not a game person, I would recommend just watching the cutscenes because it's, in my opinion, that well done. The landscapes that you're exploring are epic. The story and the way that it ties together is so good. The part where they use this, where they show up in the Arctic area and then they have to use the stone to escape and it goes over to Japan is insane. Like, that whole section is crazy and I absolutely love it. I love the way that, Lauren, do you care if I spoil this?
No.
Okay. So they took a bunch of different cultures from around the world, and I actually dug into this a little bit, of different cultures having a flood type story. And it is a thing that a lot of cultures go through. And it's a story that transcends just Christianity, which I think is really cool. The Niflheim is a part of the Bible that is not often recognized by most of Christianity. It has been taken out, but there is a certain sect that do recognize it, and they think where Goliath came from is the Niflheim. So you have these giants that are going around and protecting the Great Circle. Indiana is trying to find all of these stones and stop the Nazis from bringing them together. All of these different separate ideas are put together in a really compelling story, in my opinion. And it's got little aspects of myth from these different cultures. Yes, you have that Christian grounding with the part of the myth that is Christian with Noah's Ark. And that's what it eventually runs into, is Noah's Ark. But you have all these other cultures with stories that I've actually heard little parts of. When they go to Vietnam, was it Vietnam? I believe it was. Or Philippines. They go through the swamp, and there's this story about a yak and a Buddhist priest type person who needs to survive a flood. So he's given the Great Pearl to be able to survive the flood. And I've kind of heard of this story before, which I thought was really cool. I didn't realize there were so many similarities with these different stories, whether it's Chinese, Egyptian, American, European. It goes into multiple of these different stories, and I found it fascinating. I thought the story itself was really, really good. And when you walk in, I didn't expect Noah's Ark. You walk in around this corner, and Noah's Ark is just standing there in its grandeur, and it was mind-blowing to me. It was so cool. And you get to the end of the story, and it very much reminded me of the Ark of the Covenant in the original Indiana Jones, where it's kind of a power beyond your understanding. And they put in all the stones into Noah's Ark, and that's what's supposed to have granted Noah the power to be able to travel all over the world and get all the animals. It gives them the ability to instantaneously transport. It is bonkers. Lightning is falling from the sky. They actually start a flood, which is crazy. It was so unbelievably epic. I absolutely loved it. And regardless of the shortcomings of me not really loving the side stories, and honestly, with the Egyptian part, I got so stuck, like my computer literally would not go forward. I had to delete all of my files and restart this game. Even with all of that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend playing this game. If you are into Indiana Jones at all, even like 1 ounce, you should play this game. It's very, very, very good. I think you were kind of along the same lines, right, Josh?
Mostly. I found the story up and down.
Okay.
So I thought some sequences were really, really good. I thought some sequences were not really that great. I think
Like what? What were
I
the
didn't
weak
love the
points for you?
Egypt, like half of it. Half
Okay.
of it is really cool. Half of it, you're just wandering around the desert punching Nazis, and you're like, okay, at a certain point, I'm tired of punching these Nazis. Let's move forward.
Let's
Happy
go to
Nazi
something
fight.
different.
Yeah, and like I feel like half of the game is there. Maybe it's like a third or a quarter, but like a really significant chunk is there, and it starts really cool. It does the Indiana Jones thing very good. It shows you a place. You look at all the grandeur, right? You see the pyramids. You're like, I want to go in the pyramids, and you get to go in the pyramids, and you're like, man, this is really
Which
cool.
is
And then
so
it
cool.
like lulls out, and you're like, okay, now you got to do 10 things before you can leave and go to the next site. And you're like, I don't care about any of these 10 things because 8 of them are about a side quest I don't care about, and 2 of them it just kind of feels like you have to do them because the game tells you have to do them, kind of a things. So like,
Not that it actually matters.
yeah. So it's like I really loved the Japan sequence. I really loved the ice sequence. I really
Super cool.
loved part of the Egypt sequence. I didn't like the um, one you just mentioned as much. I think the ending really fell flat
Okay.
in terms of gameplay. Like, just watch the ending. Everything you mentioned is true. They do start a flood. All those things are really epic. But in terms of a video game, is it a challenging boss fight? Is it a fun
No.
boss fight? Is it just doing things while epic things are going on in the background? Yes. And I feel like you have to have this crescendo in a video game with this final thing, because every time you have a final boss
That's fair.
fight that isn't as intriguing as previous boss fights, everybody hates it. It always happens. So I think that's a valid criticism of it too.
That is a valid criticism, because honestly, the boxing matches, the last of all 3 of them, is significantly harder than that last boss fight. Like, massively harder. I loved the snake part. I didn't like that we fought the snake, to be completely honest. I wish it was more of a mysterious creature that was bigger than what you could take on. I was a little disappointed in that. But the part where you're jumping from stone to stone so the snake doesn't get you in the water, I thought was so cool. That's my favorite part of the game. I loved that part of the game. It was so, I don't know. It was like Tremors. I love the Tremors movies. I'm a sucker for them. And it felt like they copied that in a way that I haven't really experienced from another game. And I just ate it up.
Well, yeah, that was the best part of the Philippines or Thailand part.
Thailand,
The first
that's
part was I'm in a boat and I have to go to the second point and talk to a guy. Then I have to go back to where I was before and talk to a guy. And then I have to go to a different point and talk to a guy. And then I have to go back to where I was the first time and could talk to a guy. You're like, I don't care. And then the snake shows up and you're like,
a
this
speed
is cool.
system would be good.
and you're doing that thing and you're dodging the snake and you're getting into the temple and it's really, really cool. And then you fight the snake and you're like, that was so anticlimactic. I didn't hate fighting the snake, but I did not love how it was done. Like if it just
Okay.
ended with the first time you throw the spear just to kind of like get rid of it a little bit, I would have been like, okay, that
That
was
would have
kind
been
of cool.
cool.
That would have been a really cool sequence. We move on, we get into the boxing match, whatever.
But then you have the giant who
And
wrestles the
then,
snake, and I'm like, come on,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it is very Indiana Jonesy, and
it is.
I say it would fall right in line with how much you like Indiana Jones. So Conlon loves Indiana Jones. He loves this game. I
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
fair.
like Indiana Jones, depending on which one it is. And I kind of like this game, depending on which part it is. So
Okay.
it
If you had to
could be
rank
right there.
the games with, or the game with the movies, where would it fit? For me,
Second.
it's number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite one?
The one that's the most famous because of the rock scene.
Okay. Okay. My favorite
Yeah.
one's the third one with his dad. Easily. That's easily my favorite one.
Yeah.
I like the third one a lot. Cool. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I'm very glad I played it. I'm gonna give it like an 8.3. There are some negatives, but I just had a really good time. Really good time. And I was like the Egypt part's about halfway through the game. I literally was about halfway through the game when I got hard locked and could not keep going forward. Nothing worked. And so I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed replaying the first part. I just kind of skipped some of the side quests in the Egypt part because I wasn't that big of a fan of those. Just kind of kept going forward. Anyway, let's go to Lauren's topic. What do you got? Lauren?
Maybe let me unmute myself. I forgot I muted myself. Um, yeah, Fellowship of the Ring is what I'm talking about. I like the first, like, of course, I watch all of them when I start watching the series, but Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite. And everybody is always like, no, I like the. Usually, when I'm talking to people, it's usually guys, and they love the second one because Helm's Deep, and yes, Helm's Deep is great,
Second one's
and
the best one.
awesome. But I just love all of the. I love how Fellowship shows you what they're fighting for. Shows you everything that is like good. That this is why they're fighting so hard for all of these things. And there's like a lot of quotes that just this quote I actually think is in Return of the King. That's one of my favorites from the series, where it is Gandalf, and he says, Saruman believes that it is only great power that can hold evil in check. But that is not what I have found. I have found it is in the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay, small acts of kindness and love. And like, I think about that quote all the freaking time. Because, like, I think, especially like in our day and age, and we get to hear everything that's awful all the time because of our nice little devices that like to ping and tell you awful things all the time. I always just am like, I don't know what I can do about that, and then I get all depressed and stuff. And then I just remember I'm like, you know what? I have control about in my little area. And so I can try to do those little small acts, and that's enough. Like, that's what I can control. And so like that there's like so many quotes from Lord of the Rings that always are like rolling in my head. Like, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that's been given us, which is another one. All who wander are not lost. Like, there's so many great ones. And I just love the Fellowship as well, because like it's where it really solidifies for you that like brotherhood. I feel because you have the end where like you have the fellowship, you have that moment where everybody's like, you have my axe and my bow and everything. Um, and these are like people who don't really like jive well, but they come together for a cause. And then by the end of this series, these are like bonds that cannot be broken at the end of everything. I just love the Fellowship. Has great music. So does all the other ones. All the other ones are valid. I love all the other ones, but like you just have the Shire, you have all of those little shenanigans and like those like I really like Bilbo's party a lot. I feel like Bilbo so much where he's like, you know what? I'm over this. Puts the ring on, just dips out of his own
And just
party.
leaves.
Yeah. It's like, I have a great idea. Let's leave. And like when people are coming to the door and he's like, no, like we're not planning my party anymore.
Go away.
Yeah. Like everybody wants to talk to Bilbo and he's like, no, please. I just want to be with my books. And I'm like, I get you. I get you. But yeah, it just sets up beautifully like what people really should be striving for in life. Because I just see so many times like it's really funny at work. I usually go outside into the mountains once a week with my dog. When it's warmer outside, I'm usually camping like for at least 2 days out of the week, every week. And there's some people at work who they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And I was like, you can.
Man.
Yeah. Like, if that's what you want, like, you can. Like, and I just see so many people getting so caught up in all of these big things when it's like, it's the little things that matter. And I love how Lord of the Rings shows that that's like what it's about. And especially something that I just read the other day where they're like, I love how in Lord of the Rings, a lot of the times the people make it not because they're like this strong person that just can like level everybody in front of them. Because a lot of the times they get to the point where like they're about to get taken out and it's hopeless, but they just keep bumbling through it anyway, and that's enough. And I'm like, okay. Like I didn't realize that, but yeah, they just have the tenacity to keep going, and that's enough. And so it's this series is so like it's not underrated, it's not overrated. It is like I just hope that it keeps continuing being like a staple for people to read and watch and quote and understand, because it is glorious with like the brotherhood, with like any part of your life you can freaking apply it to Lord of the Rings, I feel. And it's just so hopeful and it's so good. Music's great. Anyway, I was just really emotional this week, and Lord of the Rings hit it for me again. So,
That's
yeah.
super cool.
And
It's got.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it is basically perfect, and it's so. The writing, there are moments where it speaks in a way that a lot of other books just can't, because Tolkien said words in a way that most people will never be able to do. That's kind of a weird way of saying it, but he was incredible.
Yeah.
Simply, he was incredible.
Yeah, and there's like, one of my favorite things about Lord of the Rings is in the Fellowship at the end where Frodo's trying to go alone, and Sam's like, he's like, I'm going to Mordor alone. And Sam's like, of course you are. And I'm coming with you. And like, he starts drowning. There's that moment where like his hand goes limp and then Frodo grabs him and he hauls him back up. And that was like Sam's lowest, where Frodo was able to bring him back to the surface. And then later in Return of the King, when Frodo's at his lowest and he's hanging from the volcano, and Sam reaches down to him and he grabs. I was like, oh, it's full circle! Oh my gosh! They both helped each other at their lowest. It's yeah, like the symbolism in this series, the love that went into the movies, and the talent. Uh, it's classic, and yeah, I see nothing wrong with it. 10 out of 10. Love Lord of the Rings. I'll never stop talking about how much I love Lord of the Rings or the soundtrack. Soundtrack's amazing.
Soundtrack is amazing.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yep.
Incredible.
I always listen, like, one song from Lord of the Rings is always playing at least once a week in my playlist.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Lord of the Rings is absolute classic. It is something that I think everybody should experience, even if you're not into the nerdy stuff. Just try Lord of the Rings. I don't know. My wife doesn't like it, and I don't understand it. It drives me nuts. But I think everyone should just give it a shot because it's great. It's great. All right, Josh, what is your second topic?
So my second topic is we watched the movie Nuremberg, and I had predicted that I really liked it, but it might be one of Conlon's favorite movies, if not one of Conlon's favorite history-focused movies.
It's great.
And when I watched it, I thought to myself, I really want to read the book. And Conlon came out and was like, now I really want to read the book. And so I got it.
So you read the book?
So I read the book. It's called The Nazi and the Psychiatrist. It wasn't what I was expecting. The Nazi Goring is barely even in it. He's not even mentioned in the second half of the book. It was more a methodical, chronological analysis of Douglas Kelly's life, which I found absolutely fascinating. So it actually goes into, like, Kelly was a big fan of the ink blot test, and he did use it in the Nazis. And this is what the Nazis said when they looked at the ink blot test, and this is what Kelly wrote about what they said. It actually led into the fact that, like, group therapy is largely due to Douglas Kelly's life. He was one of the leading people who developed that kind of thing, and he also developed what became known as exposure therapy because he had soldiers acting out what they were scared of in group therapy in order to realize the fear itself and get past it and realize that it's not a threat anymore or won't be a threat or whatever they're anxious about. So while it was not at all what I was expecting, because I was looking for an analysis of Douglas Kelly and Goring and that kind of thing, I got instead more analysis on what the other Nazis were doing, how they were going about it, what Kelly said about those things, how Kelly reacted to the trial when it happened, what was going through his mind, how he faced certain challenges, all the way up to the point where he committed suicide. And then it talks about how his kids handled it and what his kids started to do because of it. And, like, he had I believe it was his daughter who was a leading psychiatrist who left the field and started to do something else after that happened. Really, really fascinating, but like I said, it was not what I thought it was going to be or what I expected. But all good, all the same.
Still really good.
Yeah. I do think you'd find it absolutely fascinating and do recommend that you read it, Connor.
I will read that. That sounds really interesting and like something that I would super get into. It's crazy that he basically created group therapy. Group therapy is...
He didn't create it, but he was one of the leading people who developed it. So somebody
Okay.
else created it. He implemented it and developed it into kind of what we know it today.
Does it go through what the differences were, like what it was pre him versus post him?
No, it talks just about like what he did to it, right? So
Okay.
he put exposure therapy and group therapy together,
Okay.
right? So he married those
That's
two.
interesting.
So um, yeah,
That's very, very, very interesting. I will absolutely read that. 100,000 million percent will absolutely read that. Um, cool. Is it something that you would tell Lauren to read too, or not really?
if she's interested, but like
Okay.
I don't even think she's seen the movie, even though both of us were like, "It's amazing." So it doesn't seem to strike her. So you know,
Lauren, you
it's
should
fine.
read the you should you should watch the movie. You should watch the movie for sure. Like today, like right now.
We know that's not
You
going to
should
happen.
probably pause this podcast so that she can take the time that's required to read to watch this movie. Cool. What was your rating for the book?
I'm gonna give it 8.2 because it
Okay.
was really
Solid.
fascinating. I
Solid.
really did like it. I'm not gonna listen to it again.
That's fair.
It was
I
more
don't
like
really know
a
what you would,
that was good, but eh.
but nah.
But like yeah, it was really good. I really liked it, but any notion of like going back to it, I'm like nah, I'm good. So
I'm good. I'm done.
yeah,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Cool, cool, cool. I like that. I'm glad that you read it. Is it pretty long or short or
I can look it up the length right now. I don't remember. I want to say it was like 16 hours, but I can give you a definite answer in just a minute. It's 9 hours,
okay?
so not very long at
9 hours is not bad. It's not bad at all. I will check it out and try to get it on Libby. Okay. My next topic is going to be super, super short. Slay the Spire. I've played it for about 2 hours. This is just like an initial thoughts kind of a topic. I'll go deeper as I play more of this because I'm going to play a lot of this. I most of the time don't buy games opening day anymore because I feel like there's usually a lot of problems. And I was thinking to myself, well, it's $22. And since I've played the first game for like 700 hours, I'm probably going to get a really good return on my money for $22. So I bought it and I played it for about 2 hours and I'm very impressed. The animations are way better. They have removed, from what I've played so far, they've removed a lot of the things that you could do in the first game that would make it kind of easy to win. They paid attention. Like in the first game, when you would get struck and you had armor, your animation was exactly the same. This one, if you have armor, it blocks it. But if you don't have armor, you kind of just take the hit. They've done little things like that with the details that are really good. The way that they have randomized your travel and your path is really well done. I like the progression systems. They reworked the progression. They have a multiplayer now, which I haven't played yet, but I'm super interested in. Like I said, just kind of initial judgments, but so far I'm super impressed. And I understand why 800,000 concurrent players are playing this game right now because it's a ton of fun and I'm kind of super obsessed and it's kind of all I want to do. I don't want to go to work today. I just want to be like, I kind of want to take a day off and just play Slay the Spire 2. But I had to go to work. I'll tell you guys more about it, but if you are into this kind of game at all, I see no reason not to buy this. Maybe something will come up, but it's $22, guys. It's like the best $22 you're ever gonna spend.
So would you
It's really good.
play the second over the first now?
So far, yes. I haven't played that much of it yet, but so far, yes. I'm really impressed with all the little changes that they made. It is more Slay the Spire, but it's just like everything's elevated just
Makes
a little
it
bit,
better.
and it's harder. It's harder because in the first game, if you prioritized getting your strength up and you prioritized being able to have more power to play cards, you were probably going to win. This one, they don't really have a strength up mechanic that I'm really seeing. You have to play the cards more effectively if you want to get further. The combos are more complex. The pathways are a lot more randomized. The specials where you have like special powers are way more interesting. I'm for right now a tentative yes. I'm very impressed.
So is harder a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. The first one I've played so much that it just kind of became easy, but it was something that I could play while I was doing something else. So I would play it a lot, like while we're watching our chosen topic, whatever it is. I would play the game. I could just play it on my phone. I could really play it anywhere. Sometimes when I was at work, I would just play it on my phone. And there were so many mods that I could just play it forever. I also like that the first game was not built with Mod Manager in mind. This one is. So people who created mods in the first game had to do some hokey stuff to actually make it work. Like they didn't have a system to be able to make monsters that you created populate in the game. So people had to jerry rig it to actually make monsters pop up when you were playing one of their DLCs. And this one, it's made from the ground up to work, which I think is super cool. I don't know. I'm very, very pleasantly happy with a game that I genuinely love. I love the first game so much, and I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. Yeah. Anyway, I will give it an official rating when I've played a little bit more, but right now it's looking good. And with that, let's go to our shared topic, which is one Lauren suggested, and I'm really happy she did. A little bit of a spoiler. What'd you have, Lauren?
Our shared topic is Maverick. It's I believe it was done in the 90s with Mel Gibson as the lead. It's a Western where Mel Gibson's character is this con man. He is trying to get into this poker tournament that's like, I think it's like 25,000, but he's 3,000 short. So he's trying to get his money collecting from debts from people. And he's not having luck getting his money from people. But every single time that you think he's in a pickle, he has some little twist that gets him out of it. Like there's at one point, there's these natives that come along. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take one for the team. I'll like go as their prisoner and stuff." And as they leave, he finds out that like the audience finds out that he's friends with these natives, and like there's just little things that like he's really lucky, or he has a plan. It's mostly luck that gets him through everything. And so I love it. I think that Mel Gibson's very charming in this. He's a little rapscallion, but he's charming, and this movie isn't that it's not serious. I love the non-seriousness of this movie. And it just feels like a goofy fun time to me watching it. I'm curious as to what you guys thought about this movie, because I enjoy it.
Cool. I can go next. I love this movie. I was very, very surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. I think it's hard to do the people who bicker all the time and have it come across as charming rather than being annoying. And in this one, it was very, very charming. What's the main actress's name? Can't remember her name. Maverick.
The actress or
Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster, the main actress. Jodie Foster is fantastic in this movie. Like really, really good. And normally I like her, but I've never understood why she is known as such a great actress, because everything that I've seen her in, it's like, it's good, solid. She does a good job. I thought she was great as this con artisty woman who is constantly just using her feminine wiles or whatever on everybody. It was very, very charming. Her connection with Mel Gibson was there was a good contrast there. Um, I liked them. I liked the ending poker scene was very dramatic, and of course he got like the best hand that you can possibly get. It was very movie, but I didn't care. I just had a big smile on my face the entire time watching this movie. I like the music. I like the set design. I think the costumes are particularly good. The part where he gets the shirt and the shirt is shrunk genuinely made me laugh. I thought it was very charming. Um, yeah, James Gardner being in it. I love that guy. He's great in like everything that he's in. It was it was just really good. It was really good. I'm glad that I watched it. I was going to give it a solid 8. I will watch this movie again for sure, without a doubt. Thank you for recommending it, Lauren. It was really good.
You will.
What about you, Josh? What did you think?
So I'm gonna start with my pros. My pros are, it is very fun. It is a fun watch. The costumes are really good. It feels like a western without being like so overly western that
Gritty.
you get exhausted by it. Um, I love all the set pieces, like where they shot was very, very good. I love the idea of the poker game being on a boat. Um, I love Mel Gibson in this. It feels very Braveheart meets like Robin Hood. Um,
Yeah, that's a good. I like that analogy.
uh, I love you just mentioned her name. She does a really good job. Every character actually, every actor does a fantastic job with their roles. Um, the music is really good. Um, the story is compelling enough that you keep watching. I'm going to go into my negatives now, and that is I got tired by betrayal.
Mm.
Okay,
Like
that's fair.
it introduces it in the first 5 minutes, and it keeps happening all the way up until the end, and you're like, okay, I trust none of these people because everybody betrays everybody. And then there's that final gotcha moment where it's like, the sheriff is actually his dad. And I was like, okay, you betrayed so many times. I don't even care at this point. And then the girl comes in and she takes half the money and then makes I thought was not a good joke. I didn't laugh at it at all. It made me very uncomfortable when she was like other similar traits, and I was like, ugh,
Oh, yeah.
can we
I
not do
never liked that
that?
one.
Like that was like, and it like
That's fair.
hyper focuses on that joke. That joke takes up like 3 minutes of this 5 minute scene, and I was like, can we not do that? And then it's like, haha, Mel Gibson got one on her. Haha, he didn't give her all of the money, and it's like, why didn't I just take all the money out of that box? And it's like, you would have, you dumb writers. Like, what? I know that the purpose of that is so that we as an audience know that he's going to chase after her and we're supposed to be enthused by this. But I'm like, these two people, well, very interesting characters on their own, uh, are a terrible couple. They are built on lies and betrayal. And while we see it, there is some charming moments, like Conlon said. But by the end of the movie, I was like, she's gonna lock him in his room. Oh, look, he got locked in his room. What a shocker! Because we don't have a single honest person in this thing. And I did get exhausted by it. I found it exhausting how often they stabbed each other in the back, whatever. And
That's
by
fair.
the way, the one guy whose sole job was to keep Maverick out of the game did a terrible freaking job. Shoot him in the leg. What are you doing? Are you kidding me? You have him tied up to a tree and you set a snake loose and you know he's famous for getting out of these situations and you saw him beat up 6 guys 30 minutes ago. maybe shoot him in the leg.
And
Shoot
then you're
him.
done.
Maybe do a general pat down of a person instead of just whatever. And by the way, I found it exhausting that when Maverick gets out of that, he bites the money because he's already sitting down. I was like, why didn't you just take your arms out in front of you at that point? You are already there. You are already in position to do this, but they wanted the funny scene where he was running around with funny in his mouth, and I was like, that's not funny. It's just stupid. This guy's supposed to be clever. What are we doing here? So I did like it. I didn't love it. I won't watch this again. I am glad that I watched it once. It's just there's so much like "ha, gotcha" audience that I found it extremely exhausting.
Just didn't work for you.
Yeah, but like it's sad because like we've said, every actor does a great job. My other last little criticism is they made a point to say the dealer was cheating, and they never really explained that Maverick got the Ace of Spades because he knew that the Ace of Spades would be the top card because the dealer switched to a new deck. So I was expecting that to be a like, haha, he cleverly figured it out, but they explain it as luck, and I'm like, no, it's not luck. He knew where the card would be because of how a deck is put together. What are you doing? So that's my last little criticism of it. It was good, just not great. I
What was your
definitely
rating?
enjoy Tombstone a lot more. I'm gonna give it like a 6.8 because it does fall short of my rewatchability thing.
Okay.
But I am happy I watched it. I would recommend people watch it. I am very biased in that westerns don't really work for me, so like take that into account. Like that's not my thing, so I will be more critical of something like that. So
Fair. 100%. Cool. Well, guys, what was your rating, Lauren?
8.
8. Okay, cool. I'm glad that we watched that. I'm glad that we did this episode. I hope that you guys watching find some good stuff to watch, be uplifted, do some great things, and have a better tomorrow than today. Keep going forward. See you guys. Bye.
Wait, we are watching something next week.
Oh, we are watching. What are we watching next week? The greatest spear run ever. That is what we are watching next week. And with that, same thing I said before. Peace out, guys.
Bye.